Okay, so this is even harder than General Ling. This is General Towns versus General Juhziz, the demo general, except this is the Legionnaire Generals version of this challenge, where he's taken the difficulty and dialed it up to 11. I've decided to make it even harder than that, and we're doing a can't build any units challenge with this. So I can't build any units from the command center, supply center, barracks, war factory, or airfield. Ranges that come from destroyed buildings, as well as ranger drops from general promotion, are allowed, as well as Chinooks that spawn from the supply center are a-okay. Now, as for the battle, we started with the power plant and went straight to laser turret, which is something I wouldn't normally do. I would go for supply center near the resources because we want to maximize the amount of money we get. We also got the spy drone from the general promotion right away because I want to be able to reveal all of the demo traps on the map for one, but two, I want to be able to anticipate and prepare for Demo General's attacks because he does hit hard and fast here. This guy is brutal. Now, we want to be able to make whatever preparations with the lasers, or if he's going to do anthrax bombs, we want to get the dozer out of the way. So yeah, keep in mind, this dozer that we got out on the field, that's the one and only dozer we're going to be using here. We lose that, we're done, we're finished. Now, we're getting a second supply center on the go here. Because we can't build Chinooks in this challenge, it means that the only other way to gather resources is by building lots of supply centers and then building up the Chinooks that way, which is fine. That is within the rules that I've set. Now, going with another spy drone, I'm revealing both of these bridges because they're the only ways that the units are going to come from, so best place to put them. And we got one laser at the south and one that's going to be at the north. So what you see with the two supply centers, the power plant, and then we're going to be building like a line of lasers next to that power plant there. That's pretty standard in my other attempts. I would normally do maybe 3 or 4 lasers in that line that's being made right now. And I want to be able to keep the command center in play here. All my other attempts on this challenge, I would let the command center die because I didn't really see the value that it could bring to the table until this attempt, really. It was when I was at work that I thought of all of these new strategies, oddly enough. So this is mostly an experiment, which just happened to work. But yeah, as you can see, that's not a good start. We did lose the power plant. We are using those ranges though to pick off what we can and trying to keep the laser turret in play. The two supply centers, the drawback to having them both is the power. So each one is going to use 1 power here, and because of that, that's going to shut me down more often because we're 1 short. So I'm trying to be as consistent with the spy drones as I can. The more we reveal, the better, so then I can better prepare myself for the next wave of attacks. So 3 lasers are pretty good. I'd much rather get a 4th or a 5th, but you know, I gotta get that south side secured, and I got pretty scared of that battle bus. Fortunately for me though, it just happened to be a bus that was empty. So I can get the dozer back to building more defenses, and we can get back to it.
There are few units that can detect my demolitions. Do you know which ones they are?
And see, a lot of my other attempts, I would end up migrating to the top left corner of the map, so I'd let the command center die. The lasers that you see at the north, plus the supply centers and power, they would stay intact because they'd be defended well enough against Demo General's units. So I'd be able to gather the supplies, but I'd have enough defense in the top left corner to fend off Demo General's units. Plus I'd also have another supply center in that top left corner gathering from the northern resource pile at the same time. So I was very decked out on resources in my other strategies. It's just because I had no command center, I didn't have easy access to the other general powers, which I was sort of sleeping on those because all the other general powers can have a use here. They can hit those arms dealers and stuff like that, but I was so focused on the Scud Storm. And the only way to really get to the Scud Storm is with the particle cannons.
Heading out. All finished. Search and destroy. New construction.
Warning, sneak attack detected.
As you can see, he's doing a sneak attack. Now, the sneak attack in this battle is always going to trigger at the 6-minute mark. And with the sneak attacks, they have a 4-minute timer on them. So a good way to tell when the next one's coming is the gentle timer in the top right. So first one's at 6, next one will be at 10, then 14, 18, and so on. So if you want to keep tabs on that, I definitely recommend it. That way you can have enough defense positioned near your command center to kill off the bomb trucks, and as well as the Terries. And another thing about those sneak attacks is, in this case, the command center is going to be the most valuable thing, so he's always going to spawn the tunnels near the command center. If you have a super weapon, then he'll spawn the sneak attacks at the super weapon. That's usually how it goes. And it's also, and same deal, it's always going to be that same timer, 6, 10, 14, 18. And the last thing to consider with the sneak attack is that he won't always pop out with the bomb trucks and the Terries, because it might be a case where you've attacked his arms dealer or his barracks, and he can't get all of those units inside the tunnel in time. And that's why sometimes he'll do a sneak attack, it might be totally empty. So yeah, I have picked up on some of the patterns. I didn't keep, a lot of tabs on all of his moves, but I kept enough tabs on the ones necessary, because I really do want to keep the dozer in play. Again, if we lose that, we're dead. Now, as you can see, we got a Scud Storm coming in 38 seconds. And you're probably wondering, well, you've built everything at your main base. What are you doing? So we're building some scaffolds. So we're getting some supply center scaffolds. Now, this is something I hadn't thought of in all my other attempts. I would normally do laser turret scaffolds or war factory scaffolds. And yeah, again, this is another thing I thought of when I was at work. And here comes the anthrax bomb. Again, another thing with that is it's always going to happen 8 minutes, but it's going to take 20 seconds to arrive, so 8 minutes 20. Next one will be 40 minutes 20. Back to the Scud Storm. Now we've got 5 scaffolds there, and we kept the dozer and the Chinooks over there too. And like with the other generals, they go on cash value with their attacks. So now we've got to get those Chinooks and the dozer out of the way, and just like that, he's totally whiffed with that Scud Storm. Now we do have the anthrax that's covering my base now, so I can't send my dozer back. I did lose a supply center out of that Scud Storm, so I wasn't, it wasn't a huge loss. I still got the other one, but I could also use those ranges later, which is also going to be helpful in baiting out the next Scud Storm. So we did get the rank up. I went straight to level 3 A10s, and I'm going straight for his arms dealer. And the reason why we want to go for the arms dealer is simply just to slow down those attacks. I want to be able to do everything I can with as little interference from him as possible. And yeah, since he's got the quad cannon coming, I decide, okay, let's at least do something with the dozer. That way we're not wasting time. We take out the arms dealer, and like I said, that will slow him down. Not a lot, but it will make the difference.
Warning, sneak attack detected.
And yeah, I'm building a line of lasers at that section there. And like I said, 10 minutes in, here comes the next sneak. And thankfully those trucks turned in a way where it didn't take out the power plant. I might have been in trouble if I lost that. And he is ramping up those attacks, because we are down a couple of laser turrets there. So I decide, okay, we got 2 turrets here at this section. It's not great, but we need to rebuild at that south side. That's a lot more important than what we're doing right now. And that spy drone, we're just trying to reveal as much of the map as possible, so then we know everything that's going to happen on Demo General's side. So since the quad is coming, I didn't want to risk putting my dozer in harm's way, so we're just going to do a little bit of repair work on that command center. Not a lot, but it might make the difference if we get hit again with scud storms or bomb trucks. And yeah, I was within range of one trap, which will give me a little bit of EXP. I didn't put the lasers, you know, further, because it means that his vehicles are going to have to turn, and like it'll have to turn and then be able to attack, and my laser will still be in range, and I can take some pot shots at his vehicles. So that's why I've done it that way. I can still get the EXP, but in a safe way. And with baiting out Demo General's super weapons, I found that using base defense scaffolds wasn't as consistent with my other bait outs, because I found that he would aim his Scud Storm in a way where it would still hit some of my laser turrets that are fully constructed, and we don't want that.
Oh, please ignore my workers, General. They're just burying some garbage for me.
And yeah, I'm going for a 5th laser turret this time. I want the defense to be as good as possible, but I also knew that the anthrax bomb that was coming next wasn't going to happen until about the 14-minute mark, 14 and a half. And yeah, like I said, anthrax bombs normally take 6 minutes to be ready. So that means that you wait, so 8 minutes and 14 and then 20 minutes. But it takes 20 seconds, roughly 20 seconds each time for the plane to go from his base to your base. So you just got to think, okay, well, 8 minutes 20, 14 minutes 20, 20 minutes 20, etc. And I didn't keep as many tabs on the anthrax bombs because I was still building most of my stuff at the north, where my dozer was out of harm's way, so I could just set it and forget it when it comes to that.
Loaded with US quality. Clocked in.
And once again, we got a bunch of supply centers. We've got the Chinooks. We're stopping the resource gathering. We're just trying to increase the value of that one spot as much as possible for the Scud Storm. And because I don't want the Scud Storm hitting main base, otherwise we're going to be screwed here. So we get the Chinooks, send them away, send the dozer away, cancel everything, and just like that, he will whiff again. He'll probably take out those 2 rangers, but other than that, no harm done.
Unit lost.
Our base is under attack. Yeah. Bring on the scaffolding.
And because it was convenient, we built that 3rd laser turret at that section. And at 14-minute mark, here comes another sneak.
Unit lost.
He didn't pop that time, so we were able to keep all of our stuff intact. And here comes the anthrax bomb, like I said. It's going to happen around the 14-20-minute mark. And my dozer's way out of harm's way here, so we don't have to worry about that. And the toxins will take out the rocket buggy. So, very easy.
Perhaps I have a few cards hidden up my sleeve.
So, here's the next challenge, is trying to build up the tech tree. As you can see, the terrain here sucks. And the bigger the building, the harder it is to build stuff. And the biggest building, well, one of the biggest buildings is going to be the war factory.
You're losing, General. My tactics
And we need the war factory to get a strat center, and then we can go to supply drop zones and particle cannons. So we do need particle cannons to beat Demo General. It's just my problem with all my other attempts on this challenge was the timing of things. I kept letting my command center go because I didn't see the true value of the general powers. Because I was so focused on getting rid of the Scud Storm, because the Scud Storm in this battle is a one-time thing. You only need to destroy it once, and then he won't rebuild it. Unlike his other things where he will rebuild those in this version of the challenge. The unedited version of the challenge, he'll only rebuild the barracks and the stinger sites. And tunnel network too. But everything else he won't rebuild. So that's why it's so easy to beat Demo General in the unedited version. This version, though, oh boy. Like, people are probably struggling to beat this guy normally. And yeah, I did watch Legionnaire General's version of this challenge. He was playing as Air Force in one, and he did another one as General Ling, and both of those he did struggle quite a bit. He got the win in the end, but yeah, it was a hard-fought battle. And yeah, I had a bit of a traffic jam here. I don't know if it would have mattered all that much because I had 5 laser turrets ready to go, and that's more than enough to deal with what was there. But now I know why the A10 strike failed. It's because he's got a boatload of quad cannons that is going to pick off my planes. Now we're going for particle cannon next, and we've done it right in front of the war factory. I was thinking at the time, well, he's going to do sneak attacks where the particle cannon is now. Maybe if I have the war factory act as kind of a blocker, it might be helpful, and I might be able to pick it off with the laser turrets that are nearby. That's sort of what I was going for, but it wasn't my best idea.
Make my own road.
And yeah, because it wasn't my best idea, that's what I was thinking, I decided to sell off the war factory. And not only that, the Scud Storm is coming in less than a minute here. And we don't want the Scud Storm to take shots on the particle cannon as well. So I want to be able to set up enough bait to take away his attention. I don't want my particle going, but the sneak attack came, and I knew from that point I was going to lose it if I let it stay, so I cancelled out. You know, that particle cannon was like 74% done. And yeah, I just knew in my head that it was not going to work out for me if I kept it in play. And I just decided, let's save the cash and we'll build it again later.
Something for everyone.
Warning, Scud Storm launched.
So one more time, bait out, cancel out, and this time it was supply drop zones. So because we got the strategy center, the drop zones are a much better bait because it's more expensive and it's smaller. Now my A10 strike failed miserably. Again, this is like me not thinking properly about some of these things. I do make quite a few mistakes. And yeah, it unglued the demo bikes and all of that. But yeah, as you can see, 5 turrets are going to be more than enough to deal with all of that. So even without the delay in attacks, I would have been just fine. Now my dozer did take a hit from the Scud Storm, and I built a new war factory, and that's going to be the only way to repair it. And we got the rank 5, going for fuel air bomb, going for Spectre, and we're going for a level 1 ranger drop. So I got a little bit silly here. Even though I didn't know how good 5 turrets were, I decided to use a fuel air bomb. That wasn't my best move. It's just the Scud launcher slowed down the 2 quad cannons. If that wasn't a factor, I might have been able to destroy those beforehand, but as you can see, the laser turrets will make quick work of that. Now I tried Spectre gunship on the workers next to the Scud Storm. Didn't quite work out. Reason why I did that in the first place is because if we get rid of the 2 workers, then he won't replace those workers. I'll be able to do damage on the Scud Storm and it won't be fixed. And then we can just keep hammering away at it until it's finally destroyed. Now going for particle cannon again, I knew that there's that risk factor with the sneak attack. Because if it comes, then we might lose that scaffold there. And I built a second particle cannon scaffold. I thought to myself, well, let's see if he'll use the sneak attack on the scaffold that I'm not building on. See if I can bait it. That's what I was trying to do with that second scaffold. And Demo General got the drop on me. He got a quad cannon in where my defenses were, well, non-existent. And yeah, I made the call to sell off my strat center. Not good.
Our base is under attack.
And he started hammering away at the particle cannon. I think I was a little bit too hasty with cancelling that. I might have been able to bait the quad cannon with the ranges there, and then I could have potentially finished building that one, but I was being super safe with my cash. I wanted to try and keep as much cash as possible, minimum wastage.
Warning.
And yeah, here comes the sneak attack. And this was very close. This was very close. I nearly lost my dozer. I lost the war factory, but we we survived yet again. And yeah, as a result, we did get another 5 rangers to work with because we did lose that war factory there. So it's not a total loss. We can use those rangers for bait. We can use those to hammer away at the sneak attacks if he does any more. So I tried something different. I thought to myself, well, he's done an attack. He shouldn't have too many quad cannons nearby. Let's try and use the A10 strike to take out that worker that's next to the Scudstorm.
Unit lost.
And this got a little bit worrisome for me. He sent in Scud launches again where I don't have defenses. And that's the spot where I'm baiting out the Scudstorms. And the Scudstorm has got 30 seconds before it's ready to go. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do here? I'm getting concerned. I need to do something. And we end up, I had to give up on baiting that spot, so I ended up building the supply centers next to my northern laser turrets. I didn't want to do that, but I think I had no choice there.
Let's build. Sounds good. Keep him busy.
Warning. Scudstorm.
So here it comes. We cancel out those buildings, save our cash. It's just those 3 laser turrets that are in play. Because I want to keep I wanted to keep those in case he does any more attacks in my blind spot that's in that top left corner. I did build 1 laser turret just so I've got some coverage against his units should they go around. And my A10 strike did hit the mark. We did kill off one of those workers. He's just got the 1 more, and we've got to take that out so then we can do as much damage as we can on that Scudstorm. And yeah, as you can see, his defenses are strong, very strong.
I am master of explosives, General. You have no defense against me.
Serving our country.
Yeah, my Chinooks weren't doing anything, so I was like, do we have any more resources? And we did have 1 left, and so we can get another like 3 or 4 grand. I think it's like 3750 in resources. Every little bit helps here. I don't have oil derricks captured, and I don't have supply drop zones. So financially speaking, we are very reliant on those Chinooks. And we do need the cash, so then we can do those bait outs on the Scudstorm.
We're going out for more explosives,
So, got a new war factory. That's going to act as bait for a Scudstorm. That's why I placed it there. But another thing is, I didn't realize I already had a war factory, so that was kind of a goof on my part.
Warning. Sneak attack detected.
Yeah. Doing a ranger drop, and those lasers making quick work of that sneak attack there. Reason why I did Ranger Drop where the War Factory is just so I can add more cash value to that spot when he does his Scud Storm. And yeah, as you can see, he's got a boatload of stuff. I ended up going for Fuel Air Bomb. Again, I was being a little bit hasty with my attacks, thinking maybe I should soften him up, but as you can see, his defense is it's strong even even at the front. So yeah, I went for Bombardment, and Bombardment, I want to have that cannon on the end just for that extra bit of defense.
Clocked in. On the
I
job.
have some surprises for you,
Yeah,
General.
finally make the call on Particle Cannon. I was a little hesitant to do it because he does have a Scud Storm coming, and I don't have a lot of resources left, so it does mean that I am taking a little bit of a risk when it comes to the bait out later, because I can only build so many scaffolds with 5 grand. And see, as you can see, those Scorpions are taking all of those hits from the lasers, and the Scorpions can't do anything to my laser defenses. So here comes another big attack. I was very tempted on doing a defensive A10 strike, because by this point it wasn't going to hit the War Factory, the arms dealers, because of the number of quad cannons. And yeah, I got some bad news. The Scud launcher was in range of my strat center. I kind of deserved that for placing that there.
Any more to
Why
job
do you
for me?
want to build a
But
particle
plus side, we've got a particle cannon now.
to have fun?
It took us nearly half an hour, but we finally got a super weapon in the game.
Build anywhere.
And yeah, we do have 3 supply centers worth of bait. We do have a War Factory as well as a bunch of Rangers too. Now here's a little bit of a trick. Because there's rocket buggies, if you aim your lasers at your own stuff, it can do longer range shots on those rocket buggies.
Scud Storm launched.
And yeah, here comes the next Scud Storm, getting everything out of the way, hoping that the Scud Storm doesn't hit. And yeah, I used the A10 defensively, but it wasn't, it was too late. We had already handled the problem.
General,
I'll build
your men
anywhere.
are coming dangerously close to
my
my
own
base. I would turn back if I were you.
And yeah, oddly enough, that second War Factory did stay in the game.
Keep it safe.
And we're just getting the last resource pile.
Always ready.
See, we're sort of running into the danger zone financially here. Because once we collect those resources, there won't be any more to collect safely. See, there's a whole bunch of resources in the top right corner of the map. It's just they're guarded by stinger sites. So that's no good for my Chinooks. So I've got to think of a way to fix the money problem.
On the job.
And I hadn't considered all of the finances just yet. That's why we're building more laser turrets. We're just trying to bolster that defense on that one side for the time being. And I don't have a lot of money to bait out the next Scud Storm as well. So here comes the sneak attack. Going for the going for my particle cannon. I was trying to bait out those Terries. I was anticipating bomb trucks. That's why I did that. And as I was saying, like the sneak attacks, they don't always spawn the bomb trucks. So this might have been a case where where I did some sort of attack and destroyed some of his bomb trucks, or he just didn't build enough bomb trucks in time for the next sneak attack, because those sneak attacks will they will always happen at those specific times.
This supply pile is done.
Yep, so now we're out of resources, and finally I thought of the idea of utilizing the Spectre gunship in a smarter way. We end up using Spectre on the Stinger site.
Demo traps are difficult
And
to construct, General.
the bottom left corner of the map isn't going to have much in the way of anti-air defense, especially since we haven't built a barracks. So the barracks is another key building here, because if you build a barracks, that will trigger the Demo General into building a barracks and Stinger sites to the north and to the south. And that's why we never built one, and we never built one, which means we don't have access to capture building or flashbangs. So that's one thing. So we can't capture oil derricks or anything like that. It'd be nice if we could, but I figured to myself, well, if we build a barracks, then it means we're going to be open to more attacks and more combo attacks between his vehicles and infantry too. And since the infantry is a lot easier to build, it does mean that the odds of him breaking through my defense is a lot higher if he uses those infantry as a distraction play. So I go for Moab. I'm just trying to cut his numbers down. We did weaken the Scud Storm, and again, he's not going to repair that, so we're good here. And because we weakened his anti-air defense, I felt like it was a good chance to use the A-10s to try and take out that Scud Storm. We do have 7k, so it is still possible to bait out a Scud Storm. But yeah, I was like, maybe it'll work, maybe not. But it did work. We killed the Scud Storm. And that is so crucial to this battle here, because he won't rebuild it. And I can finally just worry about building like base defenses or particle cannons or all those other things that are needed here, without having to worry about having empty base space to the left or to the right or wherever I want to do the bait outs.
Your building could be wired to explode right now. You'll never know until it's too late.
Always prepare. Rally point confirmed. Rally point confirmed.
So with our dozer, we're building a strategy center because we do need to get some supply drop zones. We're running pretty low on cash, and I had another idea. Let's get some rangers inside the Chinook and do a bit of exploration. Sneak attack came. Fortunately, the bomb trucks went for my laser turrets and not the particle cannon.
Army's elite. Search and destroy.
Now, since the Scud Storm is out of the equation, I'm still using the ranger drops to spawn in on my base, because I want them to defend those areas where my lasers can't get to the sneak attacks. So every little bit of damage done on the sneaks is better than nothing, and if the rangers can act as bait for them, that also works too. Now there's 4 cache crates here, and one of them is going to have a demo trap, and we're going to use the other ranger to grab the other 2. So just like that, we got a little bit of a cash injection, and we are going to get some drop zones in the game here. I was going to go for advanced training as well, but I changed my mind because I wanted to conserve the money, just for now.
I'll get it there. Blades in motion.
Do you fear my next attack?
And yeah, the range of those quad cannons is insane. my Chinook nearly died. So as you can see, we're slowly but surely getting there. I'm doing another Spectre, trying to pick off those stinger sites so then I can get my Chinooks to collect from there long distance. See, there's nothing else there. Even the quad cannons and the rocket troops won't get in the way. So I can long distance collect and just get that little bit of extra cash to get us back into the green in terms of cash.
Can't build this, sir. Bring on the scaffolding.
Particle cannon ready.
Yeah, particle cannon is ready to go.
Your base has been targeted for demolition.
And yeah, we don't have a lot in the terms of weaponry, so we're not ready to do like any big moves just yet. So we're just using the particle cannon to take out the arms dealer, take out a bunch of his vehicles too, and we also went for a barracks as well. So the barracks will get rebuilt quickly. Arms dealers will take a little bit longer, and we took out all of those vehicles, which does slow down his attacks even further. So that's what all we're doing, is we're just trying to slow down those attacks as much as possible. The south side we're covered, it's just that northern side that could use some extra defense.
What's the story? Getting to work.
It's quiet out
And yeah, I ended up pulling out a airfield scaffold. I was thinking to myself, well, an airfield is a good blocker in case he does do a sneak attack later. That's why I pulled that out briefly, but then I changed my mind because I couldn't build one, and I was like, nah, just get back to work. We'll deal with it when it happens.
That one's done.
Who's signing for this? Serving our country.
So just like that, we got 2 Chinooks, one looking a little bit better than the other, collecting the resources. That's going to get us back
What's the story?
financially.
Ooh, can't do that.
But I do also need some power to keep us in the green on power.
Establishing supply route.
Special forces here. Rally point confirmed.
Warning. Sneak attack detected.
And yeah, I moved my rangers. I was going to move my rangers next to the supply drop zone because in the unedited version of the challenge, the supply drop zones are weird, and the cash crates don't all fall on the drop zone. It's sort of like General Ling's battle.
Bring on
And yeah, we did lose power just there. So yeah, in General Ling's battle, the cash crates go around the supply drop zone, meaning that you need to use your units to collect the remaining cash piles. Now, with power down, it wasn't actually bad. He didn't attack me. So that's good news. And we didn't lose the particle cannon. It did get pretty low on health, but we did keep it.
all finished.
Upgrade complete.
Clocked in. Getting to work. Laying the foundation.
Unit lost. Upgrade complete.
Need a point man. On the go.
Upgrade complete.
We're going out for more explosives, General. Be right back.
And yeah, there goes one Chinook. It turned out to be the bad Chinook anyway. So just relying on one Chinook to gather the resources. We still have that supply drop zone, so we can still do something in the way of gathering resources. I did decide to build a laser turret, just so I've got another laser nearby that can pick off the sneak attacks should they come from, you know, north of where the particle cannon is instead of south. And yeah,
Oh, please ignore my word.
kind of stopped utilizing the spy drones. I was like, yeah, let's use it on those spots where he's got the least amount of defense. It's not like it really matters. We've revealed the majority of where his units are going to be anyway, and it's not like we're going to be moving rangers towards the demo trap minefield that he's got, because we're rank 5 already, so it's not like we need extra general points. It might be helpful in the way of gaining veterancy with the rangers, but those rangers will lose a fight against his units, whether it's quad cannons or any of his explosive related units like bomb trucks or Terries. And yeah, that's why I'm just sticking to placing all the ranger drops inside our base, just so we've got as many defending units as possible for those sneak attack.
Any more projects? Always ready.
Particle cannon ready. Unit lost.
As you can see,
Confirmed.
we got a particle cannon ready, and I used the Spectre gunship. I was trying to go for his workers, and my brain was thinking, oh yeah, his command center's dead now, let's try and pick off the workers. And yeah, I sort of goofed there, but at the same time I didn't, in a way, because what I did, unintentionally, is that I did diminish the number of workers that were in the game, because when he does rebuild his supply stash, he's not going to build any more workers from it, because there's no resources to gather. So I have cut down his overall worker count. So, unintentional, but definitely helpful.
Perhaps I have a few cards hidden up my sleeve. But did you expect any less from me, General?
Special forces here.
All finished. Yeah. Always ready. Loud and clear. Good area.
Yep, now going for our 4th supply drop zone. So I'm just trying to get as many drop zones as I can that I would feel comfortable with switching from that to building particle cannons, because that's going to be the key thing here. Against Demo General and I can't build any units challenge, you got rangers, laser turrets, general powers, and particle cannons. You don't have a lot in the way of weaponry here, so I do need to get the finances up so then I can consistently build power plants and particle cannons here. That's why I thought 4 was a pretty solid number on drop zones. Yep, there goes the anthrax bomb, and yeah, even my laser turrets still aren't enough to deal with those anthrax bombs. Not that it matters by this point. We're shifting all the buildings to the north of that, and my dozer's never going to be in harm's way from it, because I don't need to rebuild any laser turrets or build anything else in that section.
New construction.
So right now I am waiting on my 2nd particle cannon to be ready. I was thinking about doing a big attack. That's why I'm waiting on the A10s, the Spectre, all of that to be ready. I was thinking maybe I'd be able to go in for the kill and take out all of his workers, and that was sort of what we're going to go for, because if we take out the workers, then the next batch of particle cannons and A10s and all of that we can do, and he won't rebuild.
Made in the US.
And yeah, before we went for particle cannon number 3, I decided to go for power plant as well, just to make sure that we're sitting pretty on power.
All finished. On the job.
Warning, sneak attack detected.
And he got him 1 sneak attack, and yeah, just like before, he didn't pop out with any bomb trucks. Because we're doing so many attacks on him now, he's not able to put all the bomb trucks in the tunnel networks consistently. Here comes the particle cannons. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, these 4 workers should be the only ones, and I ended up misclicking like twice. That was why I was so slow with getting the particle cannon back on. And yeah, I fumbled the bag there. If I didn't, I would have been able to get all of those workers But having said that, it didn't really matter in the end because he had other workers that I didn't know about. And so yeah, that big attack failed for the most part. See, again, this is me thinking that this is the only worker left, let's do
There are
it.
few units that can detect my demolitions.
And yeah, you're about to see another fail. Look at how powerful they all are. I swear these guys have been buffed in some way. Oh, here's a trick. You attack your own laser, then those lasers will take out a rocket buggy.
Let's build.
So, same deal as before, like where we use laser turrets to attack our own ranges, we could do longer range firing with the laser
Bring on the
turrets.
scaffolding.
So that's mainly useful if you're going up against like one buggy and it's just attacking alone and there's no other units that are nearby to attack. See, once he starts attacking you with like a quad cannon or a rocket trooper, once the lasers take that out, then it'll get a few shots on whatever's nearby. Yeah, just
Upgrade.
trying to take another peek at his base. So we've revealed, I don't know, maybe 1/3 of his base with all of those spy drones. Here we go, watch the magic. See, this is why laser generals OP. It's just these laser turrets.
Want to make some improvements? Any more projects?
And yeah, we are raking in the cash now. Sitting on 11k, and we're just trying to get those particle cannons up. We are doing pretty well on power too. It's just those sneak attacks, that was the main concern. Even if it was to like pop out a bunch of bomb trucks and terries and take out a particle cannon, I still got the other ones that I can rely on, and I can rebuild too. And since we keep attacking his arms dealers and other units that are surrounding that does slow down his attack waves too, because it's going to take him time to not only build his offensive units, but he's also going to rebuild his defensive units that would go to the left or the right entrances that go to his
Do you
base,
fear my next attack, General?
and then the defensive units that are surrounding the arms dealers themselves.
Yeah. That one's done. Ooh, can't do that.
And yeah, as you can see, that the terrain being so uneven, it makes it harder for me to build another particle cannon.
Warning. Sneak
I was
attack detected.
definitely tempted on building the particle cannon next to the command center, but I was like, yeah, don't want to risk it with a anthrax bomb. See, by this point, I really didn't know when the next anthrax bomb was coming. So I decided, let's play it safe. We'll build it next to one of the first ones we did,
Your
and
base has been
that should be out of
targeted for
range from the Scud launchers too. And see, if I had built the particle cannon next to the command center, I would have lost my dozer. By this point though, we have 4 particle cannons on our side, so even if we did lose the command center by this point, we were still in very good standing at defeating General Juhziz. I probably could have just waited on all 4 particle cannons to be ready and then done one big attack, trying to kill off as many of the workers as possible, that way he doesn't rebuild. Or I could just aim at all of his buildings in one go, and then that would defeat him too.
Let's build.
It's quiet out there, General.
Any more
You know what
projects?
quiet means, right?
Good area.
And yeah, I was about to build that one, but then I thought back on the Scud launcher on the strategy center earlier on in that battle, and I was like, yeah, nah, let's build somewhere else.
Particle cannon activated.
What we're going to do now is, he did rebuild the command center, and we have already destroyed the mines that are just surrounding the command center, except for one. And that means that the amount of damage that we do is going to decrease compared to the first time round. So we're going to use 2 particle cannons to soften up the command center. Now this is something that he doesn't repair. So since he doesn't repair it, we can do as much softening up as we can, and then when we do our next big attack later on, it'll only take 1 particle cannon to destroy the command center, and then we can use the rest to take everything else out.
Particle cannon ready.
That one's done. Laying the foundation. Can't build this, sir. Good area.
I am master of explosives, General. You have no defense against me.
Want to make some improvements? Bring on the scaffolding. All finished. Let's find a better place.
We're
Up.
going out for more explosives, General. Be right back.
Particle cannon ready. Warning, sneak attack detected.
Yeah, good area.
Upgrade complete.
Oh, please ignore my workers, General. They're just burying some garbage for me.
Here we go, get ready. So he is going to do one more big attack before we do our big attack. And we still got our 5 laser turrets standing strong here. So here's what's going to happen. Because the attack is so staggered, it means that I'm going to be able to easily pick off his units. And so once again, he's made things a lot easier on me, because those quad cannons especially would have been, well, it would have been a defensive unit against the Moab and the A-10s. So just like that, he has made it easier for those to get their shots off when I finally do launch them. You know, I do have 3 particle cannons and another 2 that are pretty close to being ready as well. So by this point, I think we're ready. I think I'm going to go for it.
Cannon activated.
And I use 1 on the command center. I use the Moab, trying to take out all of these workers here. That's what I was going for. Not sure if there was any more remaining on the map. I was just trying to go for as many as I can. There goes a whole bunch. I didn't see any in his base, except for that one that's repairing the arms dealer right now. So going for Palace, going for the other arms dealer, and then going for barracks, which takes out a few quad cannons too.
Cannon ready.
And then we
Particle
particle
cannon
the other 2
activated.
barracks.
Unit lost.
So just doing all of these quick particle cannon strikes in quick succession, trying to whittle them down as much as possible, because if he does have more workers and they start building more scaffolds, that's just going to delay the inevitable here. So there goes the barracks, and just taking out a Stinger and a bunch of other units just because we can. And yeah, he did get a scaffold up. Now, he does have workers that are in the middle of the map, but looking at the map itself, I don't see any movement from the green dots. So it's either he was able to bring up scaffolds without the workers, like, because there are some scaffolding errors in some of the battles, like Dr. Thrax is a good example. with the black market. But anyways, that's a story for another time. So I was in disbelief that, hey, I think we're actually beat him here. That's why I hesitated. So I used A10 on supply stash, and we used particle cannon on command center scaffold, and that is how I beat General Juhziz, the demo general, Legionnaire Generals version of this, without building any units. Now, if you enjoyed this one, I do have a playlist where you can see all of my Command & Conquer challenges. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this one. I'll see you next time. Bye.
You were lucky this time, General. You could never beat me again.